Hey tú, musicólogo, seriólogo, y tú, chateólogo. Seguro tu plan viene con Facebook y WhatsApp gratis. Claro Música, canciones ilimitadas sin gastar megas. Y Claro Video, miles de series y películas en tu plan post-pago. Y con Claro, tienes la única red 4G LTE Advanced.
Sigue tu corazón y entrega el alma a tus sueños. Tu instinto te guía. Déjalo todo atrás y entrégate. Que tu miedo te tenga miedo. Rompe lo establecido. Solo entonces sabrás de qué estás hecho. Sigue tu corazón, porque el mundo necesita gente que ame lo que hace. UDLA.
Not a lot of change, really, and in fact, we may see a little bit of a leveling here in terms of intensity for a while because we are seeing a dual eye wall structure. A lot of times these internal changes will occur and that can level off the intensity, but also spread out the area of strongest winds. We'll take a look at the radar here in just a moment. This is really one of the biggest concerns that we've got with the storm. You've got the coastal impacts, of course, the surge and the very strong wind could be over 100 miles per hour. Oftentimes you think about getting off the coast, but in this case, you could get off the coast 50 miles or even 100 miles inland and still be in a threat area due to extreme flooding because the storm is going to move so slowly. A very large area, getting a foot to a foot and a half to 2 feet to maybe as much as 3 feet of rain over several days as it very slowly meanders and off towards the east. And it's never going to be that far inland, so it's still going to be drawing very warm and humid air in from the Gulf of Mexico and really still connected to its power source. So please, if you're in this area along I-10, I-37, anywhere south and east of those corridors, you really do have to be aware of the potential for catastrophic flooding over the next several days here. Here's that tornado warning that Maria was talking about, Matagorda. You know, a lot of times these are going to be very fleeting, and in fact, you can see that. You see the little pinpoint? I'm going to follow it with my arrow right in there. That little guy right in there, lasted for just a few moments and then it sort of washed out, and that's pretty typical with landfalling tropical systems. You've got a lot of low-level shear but not a lot of instability, so you get a quick spin up and then it tends to fall apart fairly quickly. Now, as we look at the larger picture, here you see that dual eye wall structure. You've got the inner eye wall right there and then this outer eye wall. We're actually seeing the stronger winds in that outer eye wall right now, so already we've seen a little bit of a transfer to the outer eye wall, and that outer eye wall now about 80 miles off to the southeast of the coast, so probably coming in within 8 hours or so. We're already seeing some very high velocities here. This dark blue color is showing us where you've got velocities of 130 miles per hour or greater. So that's the core of the storm, where we're going to see that maximum wind come in and also exceptional storm surge as well. Very large area of onshore flow, so 6 to 12 feet of surge possible. High tide at 8 o'clock tonight or thereabouts along the coast. Already the winds are picking up, getting up to 47 miles per hour. Mustang Island 44 at Port Aransas, so we're seeing tropical storm force wind gusts coming in already. Some of these banding features starting to come down, and within these banding features, we're seeing these little transient areas of rotation. There's one right in there. So again, you've got that tornado threat as the storm is coming on shore. So this is the official forecast from the Hurricane Center, calling for it to become a major hurricane at landfall. That is going to be tonight. We're going to see devastating impacts along the coast, storm surge that will be well above ground level in a lot of cases, 6 to 9 feet in parts of Port Aransas as well as into Port O'Connor. And then the storm doesn't get very far inland, could be a hurricane going into tomorrow night, even after moving inland. And again, that's because it is still drawing air coming off the Gulf of Mexico, so it's still connected to its fuel source in the Gulf of Mexico. And then it may actually begin to turn tail, come back out into the open water. One of the big questions is, how far out into the water is it going to get? So how much strengthening will we see see some of the computer model runs have actually showed significant strengthening as it comes back out into the open water. So this is really unprecedented in a lot of ways. Please don't use your experience with past hurricanes as a reference point, because this is really, really different. The fact that it's maintaining a lot of its strength, maybe re-strengthening, and just sitting in the same area for such a long period of time, Tuesday into Wednesday coming up and across the Houston metro area. There's a look at the storm surge forecast, 6 to 12 feet above ground here. That's going to be from Sargent all the way down to North Padre Island. So a lot of areas being flooded, tremendous wave action on top of that. Hurricane warnings in effect from Matagorda Bay and on down through several of these bays and the barrier islands and well inland as well. So significant power outages are possible across a lot of South Texas, even as you're evacuating off to the north and to the west, say into the hill country here into San Antonio. We could be looking at power outages there as the core of the storm gets closer through the weekend. And then, of course, you've got these absolutely unbelievable amounts of rain. The average annual rainfall in Corpus Christi is 32 inches. That's what we get in a typical year in Corpus Christi, 32 inches. And we're talking about getting as much as 32 inches very close to Corpus Christi over the space of several days. When you see that much water coming down and then you've got water being pushed on shore due to the onshore flow as well, you're talking about unbelievable impact in terms of flooding there. This is going to be a storm for the ages, most likely. We're going to have much more coming right up.
And you're watching continuing coverage of Hurricane Harvey. We have our crews all across the Texas coast and inland, and that is because this Category 2 hurricane is now within a few hours of landfall as it continues to move towards the Texas coast, including into cities like Houston, feeling the effects of some of those on Local Now. I'm meteorologist Maria LaRosa live in San Antonio, and yes, this far away from the coast, we are absolutely going to feel the impacts from this hurricane in the form of some torrential rainfall, and rainfall that will be measured in feet, even in parts of the San Antonio area. So really devastating conditions from the coast and inland, and this is something, as we were saying, that will be felt for days to come. Something, again, that I'm going to repeat that Carl said, this is unprecedented. Don't think back to a storm that you've experienced and think that that's how you're going to guide your actions now. This is something that we still are looking at and cannot believe. We're trying to communicate and visualize what really that 3 to 4 feet of rain may fall, and some of that 4 to 12 foot storm surge may look like. So I want to bring in Carl Parker, and Carl, just looking at the state
with Matthew, and a lot of people rightly got off the coast there in the Carolinas, moving inland by 50 or 100 miles, and they put them
Hey tú, musicólogo, seriólogo, y tú, chateólogo. Seguro tu plan viene con Facebook y WhatsApp gratis. Claro Música, canciones ilimitadas sin gastar megas. Y Claro Video, miles de series y películas en tu plan post-pago. Y con Claro tienes la única red 4G LTE Advanced. Hey tú, musicólogo, seriólogo, y tú, chateólogo. Seguro tu plan viene con Facebook y WhatsApp gratis. Claro Música, canciones ilimitadas sin gastar megas. Y Claro Video, miles de series y películas en tu plan post-pago. Y con Claro tienes la única red 4G LTE Advanced.
Is not a surprise, because there is a dual eye wall structure, which is to say that inner eye wall is giving way to a larger outer eye wall, and so the wind field, the area of strongest winds, is likely going to be expanding as a result of that, and then we'll probably see a continued uptick in intensity later today. This is the forecast track and intensities from the Hurricane Center. The storm likely moving in this evening, and so you've got to be away from the coast as that happens. We've got a high tide coming up at 8 o'clock tonight or thereabouts, and that's when we could be talking about a storm surge of several feet, 6 to 9 feet in parts of, for example, Port Aransas and also in Port O'Connor. You've just got to be out of those areas. Wave action on top of that. These are areas that are going to be exceptionally dangerous to be in tonight. Then the storm moves in very slowly into Saturday. Doesn't weaken that much because it's never very far inland. It's still drawing warm and humid air off of water temperatures that are near 90 degrees in the Gulf of Mexico, and then it slowly comes back out, maybe well out, so maybe getting stronger than what is depicted right here, though the models are not certain of that yet. There's a lot of uncertainty, but it's possible that it gets even stronger than a low-grade tropical storm, and then it continues to move up and across the Houston metro. Already now we are seeing water level rises over a foot, Port O'Connor and Port Lavaca. We're seeing that farther down the coast as well. So that has begun. The threat here is for 6 to 12 feet of water level rise above ground from Sargent all the way down into North Padre Island. Those are the areas where you've absolutely got to be away from the coast. And as we look at the model forecast, this is the European model forecast. These are lines of equal pressure where you see a lot of them. That's a very intense area of low pressure. Now watch as the storm moves inland. The character does not change that much. Again, it's still drawing warm and humid air off the Gulf.
Hey tú, musicólogo, seriólogo, y tú, chateólogo. Seguro tu plan viene con Facebook y WhatsApp gratis. Claro Música, canciones ilimitadas sin gastar megas. Y Claro Video, miles de series y películas en tu plan post-pago. Y con Claro tienes la única red 4G LTE Advanced.
Sigue tu corazón y entrega el alma a tus sueños. Tu instinto te guía. Déjalo todo atrás y entrégate. Que tu miedo te tenga miedo. Rompe lo establecido. Solo entonces sabrás de qué estás hecho. Sigue tu corazón, porque el mundo necesita gente que ame lo que hace. UDLA.
Comenzando a abrir algunos albergues, y esto es para auxiliar a estas personas que están decidiendo salirse de Corpus Christi de manera voluntaria. Carolina.
Pedro, te agradecemos por ese reporte. A mí me gustaría contarles a ustedes que están en casa viendo Edición Digital que solamente en estos 5 minutos que han pasado de esta transmisión realmente se siente como el viento ha aumentado. De hecho, se siente como bolitas de granizo que han estado cayendo. También llama la atención que hay gente, desafortunadamente el fotógrafo no puede mover la cámara porque está ahora tratando de evitar la lluvia, pero se ve gente que todavía curiosa, ¿no? Está saliendo a tomar fotografías, están tomando videos, se están riendo. Es algo realmente preocupante. El mismo gobernador de Texas, Greg Abbott, lo decía el día de ayer durante una entrevista. Él decía, cuando esas cosas ocurren, realmente la gente se queda pensando en sus casas, en las cosas materiales. Sin embargo, lo importante es cuidar la vida, eso es lo más importante. Más adelante estaré con ustedes con esta cobertura tan importante de lo que es el paso del huracán Harvey, que se espera toque tierra hoy, esta noche, aquí en la zona de Corpus Christi. Por supuesto, más en el noticiero Univisión. Por lo pronto, voy contigo, Harvey, Ailén al estudio.
Muchas gracias, Caro. Bueno, vamos a regresar contigo, como tú bien lo decías, más adelante en el noticiero desde Corpus Christi. Recuerda además que estamos en vivo ahorita a través de nuestra página de Facebook en Noticiero Univisión Edición Digital, y aprovechamos también de saludar a Ailén, que hoy día está con nosotros en reemplazo de Caro.
Muchísimas gracias, Javier. Un gusto acompañarlos y por supuesto informarlos sobre este tema tan importante, sobre todo para la gente que está viviendo en Texas. Les invitamos por supuesto a que ingresen a esta página porque ahí pueden tener toda la información tanto de esta noticia como de todas las que acontecen a nivel nacional e internacional.
Exactamente. Bueno, y ahorita vamos a pasar con lo último de la trayectoria. Para eso vamos con nuestra meteoróloga Paola Elorza, quien está en vivo. Y la primera pregunta, Paola, bueno, cuéntenos lo último de la trayectoria y dónde está esta zona de impacto.
En estos momentos, Javier, ya mira, mostraron allá en Corpus Christi que está lloviendo. Definitivamente, mira, ya las bandas del radar muestran afectando gran parte de las costas de Texas. El huracán va a una velocidad de 10 millas por hora, pero se estará frenando por esta alta presión que tenemos al norte, que no lo va a dejar moverse, y ese es el peligro particular de este huracán Harvey. Actualmente, para responder a tu pregunta, tiene vientos máximos de 110 millas por hora, se encuentra ya muy próxima a las costas del sur de Texas, va avanzando a 10 millas por hora y se espera que pudiera pudiera estar tocando tierra entre esta noche y mañana por la madrugada. Según esta trayectoria, más o menos 7, 8 de la noche ya pudiera estar su ojo muy cerca de las costas y todavía se espera que impacte como un categoría 3, es decir, con vientos de 111 o 120 millas por hora, como está pensando el Centro Nacional de Huracanes. Pero mira la trayectoria que hace. Una vez que entre, debería, prácticamente se va a quedar en esta región, y esto va a ser lo peligroso porque va a continuar alimentándose del océano, es decir, no se va a debilitar rápidamente como ocurre con la mayoría de estos sistemas, sino que va a continuar en categoría de huracán 1 por lo menos hasta el sábado y con categoría de tormenta por lo menos de aquí hasta el miércoles, dejando lluvias y bastantes desastres ahí en toda esta región.
Paola, bueno, ¿cuál es el peligro más grande de este huracán para que la gente lo entienda bien?
El peligro más grande, bueno, esto que se está moviendo lento va a ser muy peligroso porque en toda esta zona principalmente, más o menos unas millas al norte de Corpus Christi y unas millas hacia el sur hasta Port Mansfield, que está en este momento bajo aviso de huracán, ellos estarían recibiendo el impacto más grande, especialmente al norte de Corpus Christi, que es la parte del cuadrante derecho superior del huracán. Ya el impacto son los vientos, ya estarán pronto entonces esta noche a la madrugada sintiendo estos vientos huracanados, vientos de tormenta tropical, la mayoría del sur de Texas los va a estar viendo, como les mencionaba, hasta el sábado por la mañana van a estar estos vientos fuertes, así que bastante peligroso. Y lo otro más importante es la penetración del mar. Va a subir el nivel de la marea hasta 1 pie, eso significa que el mar pudiera penetrar hasta 20 millas mar adentro, así que muy peligroso. Y como se va a quedar, lo más peligroso, Javier, también son las lluvias, hasta 35 pulgadas pudieran caer en 24 o 36 horas.
Paola Elorza, muchísimas gracias por esa explicación acerca de esto. Se llama a toda la población a tomar todas las precauciones del caso, como lo decía Caro, y te agradecemos este contacto. Elaine, seguimos contigo.
Así es, Javier, si te parece, para tener una dimensión exacta del peligro que representa este huracán, veamos las siguientes imágenes que fueron captadas por la Estación Espacial Internacional. Estas fotos las publicó el astronauta de la NASA, Randy Bresnik, y compartió estas 2 fotografías junto con el mensaje: Dios bendiga a Texas, que usted resista la tormenta como siempre ha sido. De verdad que se ve impresionante la magnitud de este huracán. Como sabemos, hay 5 categorías, de la 1 a la 5. Esto depende de la cantidad de lluvia que va a generar y por supuesto el daño que pueda afectar a la población. Este es categoría 3, bastante importante, está justo a la mitad y podría incrementarse. Y en esta zona es muy importante que le digamos a la gente que realmente tome conciencia de esto y que todavía están a tiempo de tomar todas las medidas necesarias pues para evitar una tragedia, ¿no?
Efectivamente, nosotros tenemos que ir a compromisos comerciales. A la vuelta, autoridades toman todas las precauciones ante el avance del huracán Harvey y crean herramientas en español para ayudarte.
Y hay incertidumbre entre millones.
Y tú, musicólogo, seriólogo. Y tú, chateólogo. Seguro tu plan viene con Facebook y WhatsApp gratis. Claro Música, canciones ilimitadas sin gastar megas. Y Claro Video, miles de series y películas en tu plan post-pago. Y con Claro, tienes la única red 4G LTE Advanced.
Sigue tu corazón y entrega el alma a tus sueños. Tu instinto te guía. Déjalo todo atrás y entrégate. Que tu miedo te tenga miedo. Rompe lo establecido. Solo entonces sabrás de qué estás hecho. Sigue tu corazón, porque el mundo necesita gente que ame lo que hace. UDLA.
Barcelona en una
hay una... ¿Cómo se hizo los peronistas? ¿Por qué?
Para su gobierno.
Mensaje que hay que transmitir.
Bienvenida, hashtag. ¿Qué tal? Gracias, encantada de estar aquí.
En el momento más alto de la curva de rendimiento del proyecto.
Porque el mejor de los vinos va a venir.
Cuidado, no vamos a creer que realmente esto es una lucha contra la corrupción, porque yo lo que quisiera ver es una acción sistémica, completa, hacia todo lo que ha sido corrupción, no necesariamente a quienes están de parte de Rafael Correa y entonces los otros que se quedan calladitos, muy prudentes, pasan por debajo del humo, ¿verdad?
Cuando el bloque Alianza País saca un comunicado tan ambiguo, ¿no? donde le ratifica la lealtad al presidente de la República y rechaza las acusaciones contra el vicepresidente Glass y contra...
Cuando los dos se están acusando mutuamente.
Claro, entonces es un mensaje confuso hacia la ciudadanía, es un mensaje en el cual no se toman posturas.
Yo veo unos cambios muy dirigidos a dar una imagen ya de diálogo, pero en la práctica hay muchas cosas que están rezagadas. Está bien, hay que tener paciencia, pero cuidado, nos estamos quedando con eso, celebrando con bombos y platillos ya estos inicios y no vaya más allá en el momento que capture todo el poder.
Yo no creo que hay que menospreciar al 100% lo que el presidente ha hecho, que me parece que, lo que yo resalto también es la dureza de sus palabras, porque él tranquilamente podría decir, por ejemplo, señor Glass, todos los dedos apuntan a usted ahora, pero él después dice, y la lealtad con la mafia, la lealtad es con el pueblo, no con la mafia. ¿Para qué, por ejemplo? Eso es una acusación gratuita a Rafael Correa.
Es triste nuevamente empezar a pensar el país desde esa lógica, y que si el presidente de la República actual es quien lo está diciendo, claramente deben existir evidencias que se están tratando de tapar ciertos actos a causa de esta famosa lealtad. Y otra cosa muy importante, más allá de que si esto va a tomar tiempo o no tomar tiempo, el presidente de la República el día viernes ha sido muy claro en decir que todos los dedos empiezan a señalar con más pruebas que nunca al señor Jorge Glass.
5 miles as the crow flies to the Gulf, with landfall expected late tonight and into early Saturday morning. But then the whole issue with Harvey is it just doesn't move for days on end. So inland areas will get battered with heavy rainfall. Could be catastrophic here too. It's going to be a very, very dangerous situation. Stay tuned, more continuing.
The Lab is brought to you by State Farm. There for when things go wrong, but also here to help life go right.
Andrew, Rita, Sandy. Meet Chris, Jackie, Joe. Minor damage or major disaster. When you need us most, we're here to help. State Farm. We're a force of nature, too. Introducing Cologuard.
I'm here for an important reason. Colon cancer screening. If you're age 50 or older and at average risk, Cologuard finds cancer and pre-cancer. And it's a non-invasive test you can use at home. In fact, I'm as easy as get, go, gone. How do you get me? Your doctor orders me, and I'm delivered directly to your doorstep. There's no need for time off or special prep because I use the DNA in your stool to find colon cancer. Then you just go. I mean, collect your sample. Then I'm gone. Just ship me to the lab. Gotta go.
Cologuard is intended for individuals at average risk for colon cancer. Cologuard is not for high-risk individuals, including those with a history of colon cancer or polyps, IBD, certain hereditary cancer syndromes, or family history of colon cancer. Cologuard, colon cancer screening that's as easy as get, go, gone. Ask your doctor if Cologuard is right for you.
You might take something for your heart, your joints, or your digestion. So why wouldn't you take something for the most important part of you, your brain? With an ingredient originally found in jellyfish, Prevagen is now the #1 selling brain health supplement in drugstores nationwide. Prevagen, the name to remember.
It's been building up over decades. And through 35 years of severe weather, it's strengthened into trust. Trust in the Weather Channel. To us, nothing matters more. Every season, every storm, every time you watch, trust the Weather Channel.
Attention! If you had surgery to repair a hernia, listen closely. Ethicon has recalled its PhysioMesh flexible composite mesh. This product may cause pain, swelling, bowel obstructions, infections, mesh failure, and hernia recurrence. If you had hernia repair surgery in 2006 or later and suffered complications that required additional surgery, you may be entitled to compensation.
Call Sokolov Law, 1-800-706-2307 for a free legal consultation. 1-800-706-2307. I'm a non-attorney spokesperson.
As a financial expert, I tell people if you want to be successful with your credit, Credit Sesame is the best place to start. Hi, I'm Lynette Calfani-Cox, the Money Coach. Maybe you want to buy a car, a home, or just remove some financial stress. Credit Sesame can help by providing you a free credit score. Then they'll show you what's impacting your score and suggest a strategy to better manage it. Credit Sesame even recommends lending options that can save you money. Best part? It's 100% free. Get started today at creditsesame.com.
I think what makes the Weather Channel's coverage unique is that we are meteorologists. We know the weather, and that makes a tremendous difference.
Watching Hurricane Central here on the Weather Channel. I'm meteorologist Paul Goodlow live in Corpus Christi, where we're starting to see sustained winds well over 20 to 25 miles per hour and gusts even stronger than that. The rain is coming down as well. We're still seeing people driving along some of the streets and walking around here trying to get perhaps some views of what's going on. We did see one thing that actually is a victim of the rain right now. A bird's nest has fallen out of some of the trees here, so we have at least, unfortunately, some damage to Mother Nature here. I don't see any eggs in there. That's the good news, but perhaps a bird is looking for a new home after Harvey. But we're definitely within 12 hours of the approach of Harvey here, probably making landfall within maybe 40 miles of where I'm standing. So the weather definitely going downhill quickly throughout the rest of the day with a landfall later on tonight. But it's not just where the center of Harvey goes. It's a pretty huge hurricane right now, and the impacts, especially with the rain, will be felt well up the coast, even up towards Galveston. Let's check in now with Sarah Doloff, who's reporting there live this afternoon now. Good afternoon, Sarah.
Good afternoon, Paul. Thousands here in Galveston have either evacuated or are attempting to evacuate at this hour as Harvey barrels toward land.
An unwanted visitor churning in the Gulf and headed to shore. Hurricane Harvey has Texas in its sights and is only expected to gain strength as it makes landfall. Officials are in emergency mode.
There's one message that we need to get to everybody, and that is heed warnings. Your life is in potential danger.
Forecasters say it could be the strongest storm to hit the Lone Star State in nearly half a century. The last time South Texas saw such devastation was 2008, when Hurricane Ike barreled into Galveston, killing more than 20 people across several states and causing billions of dollars in damages. Officials aren't taking any chances and are warning everyone in Harvey's path.
As they say, get out of Dodge.
Highways are clogged with cars headed inland. People stocking up, gassing up, as other residents opt to stay, just moving to slightly higher ground.
The important things are our lives and our health and pets and children, and everything else is replaceable.
Jerry Smith has learned from past storms and is boarding up his home.
We'll probably have a lot of tree damage, you know, some down power lines and stuff.
Last-minute preparations before Harvey marches ashore.
And back here live in Galveston, an angry ocean as the wind whips up some of the waves. People here bracing for the storm surge and the winds expected to pick up throughout the day. And Paul, we're hoping you guys stay safe down there as well. Back to you.
All right, thanks, Sarah. Again, here we're still dealing with the rain bands coming in. Looking at the radar, we are basically in a wall of rain, probably if not for the next 2 days, maybe the next 4 or 5 days. That's the thing, you know. We lucked out yesterday, not a whole lot of rain with the outer bands of Harvey coming this way, but now we're in it. We're in the thick of it through landfall, and then once the center moves northward, we have the backside of the system, which will stall out. So we have days and days of rain ahead of us. Maybe not all-day rain once we head past, say, tomorrow night, but it's a big concern. Behind me is Corpus Christi Bay. There's some breakwaters here leading to the marina where a lot of boats are moored up, hoping to weather this storm. And I've been noticing just even the waves here on Corpus Christi Bay are getting a lot more choppy, a lot more even whitecaps here in the bay as we headed from yesterday afternoon right on through this morning here into this early afternoon. And these waves will only get bigger. The storm surge could be 4 to 10 feet. Could be similar or even more from Hurricane Celia. By the way, 1970 Hurricane Celia hit within this area here in Corpus. The last hurricane to hit this area, that too was a Category 3. Right now, Harvey is a 2, but forecasted to be a 3 as it makes approach and landfall later on tonight in this area. Of course, we'll have team coverage from along the Texas coast here on Hurricane Center.
For a limited time, you can get this fresh, juicy Boston Market rotisserie chicken for $1.99 when you buy any family meal. Now, your next few dinners are taken care of. Boston Market.
This Labor Day at Enterprise Car Sales. Experience great customer service and get more for your trade August 25th through September 5th. And let Enterprise Car Sales flip your thinking about buying your next vehicle.
Americans, 83% try to eat healthy, yet up to 90% fall short in getting key nutrients from food alone. Let's do more. Add One A Day 50 Plus, a complete multivitamin with 100% daily value of more than 15 key nutrients. One A Day 50 Plus.
Everyone has got a dream. You know what I mean?
Hey, is this our turn? Honey, our turn?
Yeah, we go left right here.
Great adventures are still out there. We'll find them in our Subaru Outback.
Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
Get 0% APR financing for 63 months on all new 2017 Outbacks. Ends August 31st.
Cinnamon fans, your date with destiny has arrived. Let's do this. Cinnamon Frosted Flakes are finally here. Sweet cinnamon and the frosted crunch you love. Well,
tastes like victory, team. Tastes like victory.
They're great.
When a fire is going on, you're not thinking clearly, so they called the fire department for us.
I could hear crackling in the walls. My mind went totally blank. All I remember saying was, my boyfriend's beating me, and he took it from there.
And all of this occurred in 4 minutes or less.
I am grateful we all made it out safely.
People you don't know care about you. It's kind of one of those things where you can't even thank somebody.
To protect what you love, call 1-800-ADT-CARES.
Hello, Discover Card.
Hi, can you tell me about these new Social Security alerts I keep hearing about?
Sure. Just sign up online. Then we'll alert you if we find your Social Security number on any one of thousands of risky websites.
Wow, that's cool. How much is it?
Oh, it's free if you have a Discover Card.
I like free.
Yeah, we just want you to be in the know.
Oh, hey, sushi. Oh, I smell it.
You're making me...
Yeah, being in the know is a good thing.
Know if your Social Security number is found on risky sites. Free from Discover.
Heartburn.
Sorry, ma'am, no burning here. Try Alka-Seltzer Heartburn Relief Gummies. They don't taste chalky and work fast.
Incredible. Can I try? She doesn't have heartburn.
Alka-Seltzer Heartburn Relief Gummies. Enjoy the relief.
To feed your phenomenal, Lean Cuisine is changing. Over 20 dishes with no artificial colors, flavors, or preservatives. With ingredients like toasted coconut and juicy mango in our mango chicken. Feed your phenomenal with Lean Cuisine.
I love you, a bushel and a peck. You bet your birdie neck I do.
While other insurance companies just see a house, we see the home you've worked really hard for.
As Harvey's path continues, there is one place to turn to and to trust, keeping you ahead of the storm. Experts tracking every possible path, whether we're getting you through it or taking you to it. Trust in the Weather Channel.
Closed captioning brought to you by Aruba, One Happy Island.
You're watching continuing coverage of Hurricane Harvey, and I want to bring you a new tornado warning in just a second, but know that we've got you covered along the coast. I'm in San Antonio. I'm meteorologist Maria Loza. We have Paul Goodlow as well in Corpus Christi, as well as Mike Seidel in Port Lavaca, Texas, and we're going to continue to bring you the latest conditions, including that threat for severe weather. And as I mentioned, we have a brand new tornado warning for Matagorda County again. So this is a separate additional warning. If you were watching earlier, they had one earlier, but this is out until 11:45 at Central Time. This is a thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located over Sargent, or about 16 miles south of Sweeney. This is moving to the northwest at 30 miles per hour. So be prepared for some flying debris, mobile homes potentially destroyed or damaged here. These are quick to spin up. They are quick to dissipate, and the Doppler is indicating that there may have been at some point some rotation, still picking that up right now. And this is something that is always a hazard with landfalling tropical systems, this threat for some tornadoes, and that is what we've seen. Unfortunately, it's again in Matagorda County. So to reiterate, a tornado warning in effect for Matagorda County in Texas until 11:45 Central Time. I'm meteorologist Maria LaRosa reporting to you live from San Antonio. And again, we're talking about a hurricane now approaching the Texas coast. Let's get you up to date with the latest on what we know right now. 740,000 under a hurricane warning, 8.2 million under a tropical storm warning. And the Texas governor has declared a state of disaster ahead of landfall. I want to bring in Carl Parker because, Carl, we are now, within just a few hours of landfall, only a few hours left to make any kind of preparation along the Texas coast. What are you seeing out there right now as far as any further intensification of Hurricane Harvey?
Well, the intensification has leveled off just a little bit for the time being because we're seeing this dual eye wall structure where there was an inner eye wall and the outer are going to be in several hours here, maybe in about 7 hours or so, or at least that's when the eye wall is going to be moving in. I'll show you that in a moment. So a Category 2 storm right now moving to the northwest at 10 miles per hour. There's the visible satellite picture, very well-defined eye showing up. It's a very well-structured storm, and this the whole event is really unlike anything that we can think of in that you've got a major hurricane at landfall, so significant wind impacts, 100+ mile per hour wind, along with surge of 6 to 12 feet over a large part of the coast. So you'd want to be nowhere near the coast as it's coming in, but then beyond that, the storm stalls out, and it's not very far inland, so it's still drawing warm and humid air off the Gulf of Mexico and not weakening very quickly as a result. Could still be a hurricane even late tomorrow after the core is inland, but again, it's still drawing in that warm and humid air. You've still got the onshore flow coming in well through the evening, well through tonight and tomorrow, all day tomorrow, and then even into Sunday, and then it's probably going to begin to come back out and work its way towards the coast. Just how far off the coast remains to be seen, but additional strengthening is possible as that happens. And then it's coming up into the Houston metro Tuesday and into Wednesday. So this is such a long duration event for a storm this strong to come in, not weaken that much, and then be around right into the middle to latter part of next week is just something that we have not seen a lot of in the past. So you're talking about truly spectacular, catastrophic amounts of rainfall. If you can get out of this area altogether, that would be the very best plan, because there's going to be widespread flooding, and that will extend, Maria, up into the Houston metro area as well, with as much as 20 inches of rain on the south and west side of town. Back out to you.
All right, it's incredible to think what all that rain and that storm surge could be doing to that area. Thank you, Carl. All right, you're looking live now at pictures over the San Antonio area, and I imagine within the next day or two, this is going to look much different with many areas flooded out. Here, too, the forecast for closing in on 2 feet of rainfall. This area taking it seriously. A lot of schools have been closed for today, or at least early release, and already starting to see some cancellations for Monday. All right, let's get you right to the coast. Corpus Christi and my colleague, meteorologist Paul Goodlow. And Paul, amazing again to see the strength of the wording coming out of the National Weather Service Corpus Christi.
Yeah, they're definitely concerned again. A lot of hurricane amnesia here. The last major hurricane was 47 years ago, Maria. That's Hurricane Celia. Did a lot of devastated this area, Corpus, and it made landfall in an area very close to what the forecast of Harvey making landfall is. Again, we're within 12 hours of the landfall, but you got to remember, a hurricane is not just a point. We're tracking a point, but it's a huge storm system. In fact, look at the whitecaps behind me on Corpus Christi Bay. Even some of the waves splashing across the jetties here as well. Now, we're in Nueces County here in Corpus. Even yesterday, we were down North Padre. It's also Nueces County. My big concern there was there were no shelters open, even though there were voluntary evacuations. Joining me now is Deborah Murphy-Luetta with the Red Cross. And the good news is, Deborah, you're telling me now that the Red Cross is about to open shelters.
Yes, we're working very closely with our emergency management partners. Last night, we sheltered close to 100 individuals. We anticipate an influx of individuals to those shelters that are already open, and anticipating opening additional shelters not only here in the Corpus Christi area, but throughout the Texas Gulf Coast region.
Now, yesterday we were leaving the hotel, the Holiday Inn, and a woman working there, Lisa, she didn't want to evacuate because she had 6 dogs, and she couldn't leave her dogs. She couldn't leave without her dogs. Will the shelters also accept pets?
Yes, we will make provisions for those individuals that have pets, and again, working with our partners to make sure that not only individuals are safe, but their pets as well.
Okay, great news, and I'm going to get you out of the rain here, so thanks for joining us.
Thank you so much.
And thank you for all the work you do, and the Red Cross too. It's fantastic work. So again, now's the time, if you even thought about evacuating but didn't have a place to go, now we have shelters here, at least in Nueces County, probably other areas along the coast as well. So contact the Red Cross and go to higher ground or safer ground now. We literally have been seeing the weather go downhill rapidly the last hour or so, and it will continue to do so as we head throughout the rest of this afternoon and into this evening as well. So it's going to be a big concern for people who know they're staying in sketchy areas in terms of riding this one out. And I even talked to someone yesterday about they actually lived through Hurricane Celia 47 years ago, and they were amazed that even on North Padre Island, the amount of flooding that was going through there and the wind as well. Talking about stories about neighbors having to tie sheets, husband versus wife, just to hold on to each other as their house was demolished, trudging through the wind and the water to a neighbor's house that wasn't. So there's a lot of history out here in terms of weathering disasters and weathering hurricanes, major hurricanes, and it's not good history at all, Maria. So it's not only a concern right now for the wind and the wave and the surge, but even where you are in San Antonio, it's the ongoing heavy rain and flood concern, which is also a big concern for millions of other Texans who are not even within 50 miles of the coast.
It is amazing, too. And Paul, we've seen a lot of people from Corpus Christi come to San Antonio, and here they could be facing that incredible flash flooding. I want to ask you, though, too, I know it's getting harder and harder probably to hear me, but what are your plans over the next several hours? Because things are just going to get worse there.
Well, we're staying at the Omni Hotel, which is, I think, like a 20-story hotel. So we have plenty of higher ground to recede to, and they are going to stay open. So we definitely do have a fallback place. It's still amazing to see some of the traffic here along the road. People, I guess, trying to get out while they can and take pictures. But we have a safe place for our crew, our satellite truck, so we should be good. But by the way, I mean, looking at this kind of seawall here, you can see some of the steps. So we were probably about maybe 10 feet above the surface of the water. I'll try to walk down here if, John, you can follow me over here. And you can see, again, I'm 6'5", so my head now is just even with the top of the curb here. And I still have another 4 or 5 feet to go. And we're talking storm surge could be lapping at that top step. So if the storm surge does get to 10 feet or 12 feet, we can see some of the waves crashing over here. And then as we pan over to the right, you can see, yeah, we have the street, which also could have water on it as well. So, you know, and then farther to the right, we have our hotel. So we do have some ground before we're dealing with the actual possible water from the bay here, Maria, but we definitely have scouted this place out. We do have a fallback location if the surge gets that high. But it's not just the surge a big concern, it's also the wind as well as the heavy rain. We got it all covered for you as coverage of Hurricane Harvey continues right now on.
It's your first day on the job. Walk in like you own the place.
Now at Men's Warehouse, get 3 for $99 dress shirts plus buy one, get one on select items. It's time to like the way you look.
Frisky's World.
Hey, what's in there?
Oh, is that a crunchy kibble?
Is that a ring of gravy?
It's gravy made crunchy. New Frisky's Gravy Swirlers.
Real gravy baked right in.
Crunchy gravy.
We get it, buddy. We get it.
Feed their fantasy.
And these are the ones. Sorry.
Don't worry about it. Honey.
At our house, we need things that are built to last. That's why we got a Subaru.
Love, it's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
Get 0% APR financing for 63 months on all new 2017 Legacies. Ends August 31st.
This Labor Day at Enterprise Car Sales. Experience great customer service and get more for your trade August 25th through September 5th. And let Enterprise Car Sales flip your thinking about buying your next vehicle.
I'm only in my 60s. I've got a nice long life ahead, big plans. So when I found out Medicare doesn't pay all my medical expenses, I looked at my options. Then I got a Medicare supplement insurance plan.
If you're eligible for Medicare, you may know it only covers about 80% of your Part B medical expenses. The rest is up to you. Call now and find out about an AARP Medicare Supplement Insurance Plan insured by United Healthcare Insurance Company. Like all standardized Medicare Supplement Insurance plans, it helps pick up some of what Medicare doesn't pay and could save you in out-of-pocket medical costs.
To me, relationships matter. I've been with my doctor for 12 years. Now I know I'll be able to stick with them.
With these types of plans, you'll be able to visit any doctor or hospital that accepts Medicare patients. Plus, there are no networks and virtually no referrals needed. So don't wait. Call now and request this free decision guide to help you better understand Medicare and which AARP Medicare supplement plan might be best for you. There's a wide range to choose from.
We love to travel, and there's so much more to see. So we found a plan that can travel with us anywhere in the country.
Join the millions of people who have already enrolled in the only Medicare supplement insurance plans endorsed by AARP, an organization serving the needs of people 50 and over for generations. Remember, all Medicare supplement insurance plans help cover what Medicare doesn't pay and could save you in out-of-pocket medical costs. Call now to request your free decision guide and learn more about the kinds of plans that will be here for you now and down the road.
I have a lifetime of experience, so I know how important that is.
Let's dance, Grandma.
You don't let anything keep you sidelined.
Come on.
That's why you drink Ensure with 9 grams of protein and 26 vitamins and minerals for the strength and energy to get back to doing what you love. Ensure, always be you.
At the Home Depot, we're pouring more into paint. So next time you paint something, you'll be working with a drop cloth and a safety net. Because high-quality paint means a higher level of stain-blocking power, better scrubbability, even a one-coat coverage guarantee. With unbelievable quality and unbeatable prices, your project is as easy as prep, paint, perfect. That's the next generation of painting. Now get Behr Premium Plus starting at $23.97. The Home Depot. More saving, more doing.
18 minutes before the top of the hour here, continuing coverage of Hurricane Harvey. All eyes on the coast with an approaching Category 2 storm right now. I want to bring in the mayor of Rockport, Texas, not far from Corpus Christi, TJ Wax. And sir, thank you so much for taking time with us. Can you give us a quick update? You know, the mandatory evacuation order given. What's the status of the city right now?
The city has reduced to a skeleton staff of people that have to remain to continue to provide services in terms of public safety and other issues within the community. But we continue to encourage everyone who can to move as quickly as they can with their loved ones and pets, move inland, get to higher ground. We are facing what looks like a Category 3 storm impact this evening. Right now, the wind's at 110 knots. However, the pressure's at 948 and dropping as the storm continues to generate over warm water. Here in Aransas County, we have water on 3 sides, so we have increasingly water coming in from the east in terms of storm surge, but also rain interior, which then brings water back down the rivers from the west side. So our situation is dire. We wish everyone well. We pray for their safety, but we encourage anyone who is left to move and move quickly.
And sir, if there's somebody watching in your area and they want to evacuate, but for whatever reason can't, maybe they are unable to, are there any resources available at this point that could help them evacuate the area?
We already had a list being made up of those kinds of people as of Wednesday, and they can call our emergency operations center by any means necessary, and our skeleton force will do what they can to assist. But the best idea is to get to higher ground. Of course, friends, family, relatives, ministries, churches, schools, try to get to higher ground because we may face a devastating event from this storm.
All right, Rockport, Texas Mayor CJ Wax, we very much appreciate your time, sir, and thinking of everybody there as well. We want to make sure that you are getting all the information, the latest information. That means checking in with our crews right now, too. And let's bring in Mike Seidel in Port Lavaca, Texas. And Mike, as the morning has gone on, I've seen the deterioration of the weather conditions there in your area. How are things looking right now?
Yeah, it's a slow process. It just doesn't hit like a thunderstorm. It slowly ramps up the wind as these bands come in. Each band brings a higher gust. We've only gusted to about 32, 33 miles an hour at Port Lavaca. Some areas along the coast have gusted to 40. The buoys offshore gusting between 50 and 60 miles an hour. And you can look at the radar and how everything is rotating around the center, the eye of Hurricane Harvey. We've got another marine warning up on the coast from Matagorda Bay, which is just off to our east, and that extends up to Freeport. So the ship channel there, Matagorda, that's under marine warning. They're concerned about water spouts. And as they come on shore, then there's a potential for some short-fused tornado warnings. We do have a Huracan of 6 right now along most of the Texas coast because of this, and that'll be especially so north or to the right of where landfall takes place late tonight and early Saturday morning. And a Huracan of 6, there's a good gust. Huracan of 6 means there's a 6 in 10 chance of a tornado touching down within 50 miles. Keep in mind that twisters with hurricanes tend to be weaker in general than what we see with severe weather. This is Lavaca Bay. Let's come out here to the seawall and show you what we've got. We haven't had much of a water rise. Some of the waves now, because of the size of the wave, are coming up to the top of the wall, but we're still about 4 feet below, and then we've got about another 15 to 18 feet of elevation to the first floor of the hotel. Brightening up a little bit off to the east and southeast, but the wind is coming in from the northeast, and it will continue to slowly increase. And we're expecting wind gusts in this area potentially topping 100 miles an hour later tonight as the center comes on shore, more than likely south of here. Again, that puts us on what we call the dirty side of Hurricane Harvey. Jim Cantori, our storm tracker, will be joining the live coverage tonight at 8 Eastern, 7 Central. from the water's edge in Corpus Christi in town. I'll be back at 8 after I finish my coverage here. Then we're going to have continuing coverage inland because there's going to be huge impacts inland. We've got crews in San Antonio, Austin, and Houston. So stay with us. We'll be on all night through the weekend. This is a long-term catastrophe taking shape here in Texas.
See what you like, pay no mind, 'cause I've heard it before 1,000 times. You can break my bones, but you'll never.
While other insurance companies just see a truck, we see something you've worked really hard for. So why not give it the protection it deserves?
It's just what you see.
Frisky's World.
Hey, what's that?
Whoa, gravy!
You mean extra gravy.
Oh, what?
That's new Friskies Extra Gravy. Chunky.
Chunky gravy paradise.
Paradise? Really?
Feed their fantasy.
It's been building up over decades. Storm after storm. And through 35 years of severe weather, it's strengthened into trust. Trust in the Weather Channel. To us, nothing matters more. We take you beyond the maps and apps, diving into the science and stories behind the storm. Every season, every storm, every time you watch. Trust the Weather Channel.
People would stare. Psoriasis does that.
It was tough getting out there on stage.
I wanted to be clear. I wanted it to last.
So I kept on fighting.
I found something that worked and keeps on working.
Now, they see me.
See me.
See if Cosentyx could make a difference for you. Cosentyx is proven to help people with moderate to severe plaque psoriasis find clear skin that can last. Don't use if you're allergic to Cosentyx. Before starting Cosentyx, you should be checked for tuberculosis. An increased risk of infections and lowered ability to fight them may occur. Tell your doctor if you have an infection or symptoms, or if you've received a vaccine or plan to. If you have inflammatory bowel disease, tell your doctor if symptoms develop or worsen. Serious allergic reactions may occur.
Never give up.
See me.
See me.
Clear skin can last.
Don't hold back. Ask your dermatologist if Cosentyx can help you find clear skin that lasts.
Who says eating on the run means eating like teenagers who kicked over a vending machine? Is that who we are? No, it isn't. Sabra Grab and Go. Hummus, pretzels, self-respect. Sabra, welcome to the unofficial meal.
Your brain is an amazing thing, but as you get older, it naturally begins to change, causing a lack of sharpness or even trouble with recall. Thankfully, the breakthrough in Prevagen helps your brain and actually improves memory. The secret is an ingredient originally discovered in jellyfish. In clinical trials, Prevagen has been shown to improve short-term memory. Prevagen, the name to remember.
We all want restful sleep. That's why Nature's Bounty Melatonin is made to help you fall asleep faster and stay asleep longer, so you'll be ready for whatever tomorrow brings. Because mom's love is unconditional, even at 6 a.m. Nature's Bounty Melatonin. We're all better off healthy. Nature's Bounty knows healthy cholesterol starts in your gut, so we made Cardio Health, an innovative way to support healthy cholesterol containing LRC, a probiotic strain that helps you metabolize dietary cholesterol, because we all want to be healthy for whatever comes next. Nature's Bounty Cardio Health.
If you or a loved one has mesothelioma or been diagnosed with another asbestos-related cancer, call now. An estimated $30 billion in court-ordered trusts have been set aside to pay out claims to asbestos victims. You may be able to receive compensation without ever going to court or filing a lawsuit. Thousands of hardworking men and women have been diagnosed with mesothelioma because manufacturers put profits ahead of safety. Manufacturers knew the risks of asbestos exposure for years, but knowingly manufactured and sold deadly asbestos-containing materials, putting millions of American workers at risk. These manufacturers have tried to avoid compensating their victims, but the courts have ordered them to set aside an estimated $30 billion in trust money for the victims of asbestos. Call now to see if you're entitled to a portion of the $30 billion. You could receive compensation without filing a lawsuit or going to court.
Call 1-800-476-2350 now for a free legal consultation. Again, that's 1-800-476-2350. I'm a non-attorney spokesperson.
When the weather turns serious, the first thing I'm thinking is, how do I communicate the message very clearly to people so they understand what the risk is and how to get through this?
Welcome back to continuing coverage here on the Weather Channel. Hurricane Harvey, alongside with my colleague in Corpus Christi, Paul Goodlow. And Paul, we're starting to see a lot of towns who maybe perhaps weren't seeing those mandatory evacuations sort of changing their tune and sort of adding more areas to the list.
Yeah, definitely when you start dealing with the wind and the constant rain coming in here, and even when you're in your home and you start hearing the wind, it probably definitely does, Maria, kind of change people's minds. Like, you know what, maybe this might not be a good idea to ride it out here. And I know you have some word on even more evacuations going on.
That's right. Hearing from the city of Freeport, they're urging voluntary evacuations, but with this, they're calling for that mandatory evacuation of all low coastal flood-prone areas to include Bridge Harbor. So if you are in this area, you're now included in that mandatory evacuation, and they're saying an urged self-evacuation for the entire city of Freeport. They're saying that there is still time to evacuate the city, and based on the current forecast and how things are looking right now, and especially in the next couple of hours, they are strongly urging that if you have not already, to evacuate the city of Freeport. They're also mentioning, Paul, a couple ways to keep in the loop with information, including their website, the Facebook page, and Everbridge Citizens Alert System. And I think, Paul, that might be key for a lot of places, those alternative ways of getting information, especially if and when the power goes out.
Yeah, that's a great point, Maria, again, because people rely on their cell phones so often for almost everything they do, from, opening hotel room doors to the grocery list. If you lose power from your cell phone, that runs out. You don't have the TV on because the power's out. Again, you need to find other ways around to get that information that you might need as well. Here in Corpus, we've seen the wind constant the last couple hours, and this is not going to stop people. We had a nice break yesterday as people finished their hopefully preparations to get out, but now we're in the thick of it. The wind and the rain will only increase as we head on through tonight. And then here's the thing. We're under hurricane warning here, but that hurricane warning goes through Sunday morning. It's Friday afternoon right now, so put that in perspective. We're talking almost 2 full days of a hurricane warning, meaning we can still see hurricane conditions. And again, this is almost, maybe an analogy for Harvey would be like a fidget spinner. You spin it, it comes on shore, and it slowly spins down. There's not going to be much stopping this in terms of the wind, the rain, and even some of the action here on the bay. Let's take a look at Corpus Christi Bay here. Pretty agitated, even seeing whitecaps here on the bay, and there's some breakwaters out there, breakwalls, and we're even seeing some of the waves coming over that as well. That's the inlet to this little harbor where probably hundreds of boats now are moored, hopefully to weather Hurricane Harvey here. You can even see some of the waves lashing up over some of the concrete piers. So hopefully these boats will be safe. But the concern is the storm surge in this area. Take a look down this seawall. See all these steps? We're talking about, it's about maybe 10 feet, maybe 12 feet to the water. And the storm surge forecast could bring the water up that high, which you add some waves on top of that, and maybe a tidal change as well, we could see water and waves lashing up over this wall and into the street here. Now, we're protected by this seawall, but other areas like North Beach here in Corpus, there's no seawall.
In fact, we were at the USS Lexington 2 days ago, and that's right next to North Beach. There's no seawall. That's just open bay, and no doubt they'll have a major overrun by the storm as we head on towards this afternoon, this evening, tonight, and maybe linger through tomorrow. So what's going on right now with Harvey? We can clearly see a well-defined eye. Let's talk about this and see if this eye is going through its re-strengthening process and bring back in our hurricane specialist, Carl Parker. Carl?
Yeah, I think that is happening right now, Paul. It's happening very slowly, but we're seeing an outer eye wall that is slowly taking over, and the greater wind velocities are in that outer eye wall. This is a look at the radar picture right here, and you see this inner structure that is now becoming somewhat degraded, and the outer structure is where we're finding the stronger wind. That's now only about 60 miles away from the coast. So as that continues to move off to the northwest, probably now about 6 hours before that northern eye wall gets into the coastline. We're seeing very strong velocities aloft here on the order of 100 to 130 miles per hour. That's the business end of the storm. That's where the strongest wind is. That's where the greatest surge is going to be as well. Winds right now gusting up to nearly 50 miles per hour Mustang Island, as well as Port Aransas, and only getting worse as we go through the afternoon. So there's the forecast from the Hurricane Center. It's going to be moving in this evening, possibly as a Category 3 storm. Then it's going to move very little between tonight and tomorrow, and then slowly coming back out and towards the Gulf of Mexico. So we're going to continue to see this onslaught, this onshore flow, the very strong wind. It could be hurricane 36 to 48 hours after it makes landfall. And then even as it's weakening, it's still going to be pulling in a tremendous amount of tropical moisture, lifting that moisture and producing heavy rain along the Gulf Coast through Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday. This is a look at the model forecast, and you can see how it moves just a little farther inland into Saturday. There's Sunday, very heavy rain there along the I-10 and 37 corridors. Continuing Monday, perhaps it starts to come back out into Tuesday. There could be some re-strengthening, and again, very slowly, it's going to be lifting up and towards the Houston metro area. So truly spectacular, catastrophic amounts of rainfall over a very large area here along I-10 and 37 and all the areas in between. This is just something that we do not see very much of at all. And that heavy rain reaching up into the Houston metro as well. Could be a couple of feet of rain there. And with all that concrete, that is certainly going to create a very serious flood threat in those areas. This is the storm surge forecast, 6 to 12 feet of surge anticipated this evening. That is going to be from Sargent, Texas down into North Padre Island, and hurricane warnings now extending well inland into Victoria and Corpus Christi and going through Sunday morning. We'll have much more on Harvey coming right up.
Hurricane Central here in the Weather Channel. I'm meteorologist Paul Goodlow live in Corpus Christi, Texas. It is the hour of noon local, and we're still waiting within the next probably 10 hours the landfall of Hurricane Harvey, if not here, very close, probably within 50 miles of where I'm standing. Behind me is Corpus Christi Bay, an angry bay here, and then farther out in that direction you have Port Aransas, and then eventually the Gulf of Mexico. And we're still watching a very angry not only Gulf, but now the bay as well. Now, off to my left, you can see some of the harbors here where they have all these boats anchored, but even seeing some of the white caps with the wind. The rain picked up about 2 hours ago, and it's been nonstop since, and we don't expect the rain to stop for days. That's the thing. You know, the dry time we had yesterday, I hope you enjoyed it, because it's going to be rain here for a while. We're under a hurricane warning until Sunday morning. 4 a.m. Sunday morning. It is noon on Friday. So put that in perspective, the danger here with the approach of the hurricane. But even after the hurricane winds down, maybe to a tropical storm or depression, we have an ongoing rain concern as well. We do know that some of the models are predicting maybe 14 to maybe 25 inches of rain where I'm standing here in Corpus. So a big concern. Let's get the very latest now on what's going on with Hurricane Harvey and check in with our hurricane specialist, Dr. Erica Navarro.
Yeah, thanks so much, Carl. We've got the latest information here from the National Hurricane Center with the advisory that just came out. And the intensity of this storm is holding steady at Category 2 strength. That's winds right now of 110 miles per hour sustained. So that means we could be seeing gusts higher than that. Again, 110 miles per hour sustained, and still moving to the northwest at about 10 miles per hour, which is good news based on what we're seeing with these forecasts, because this storm still has some time tonight to intensify. So if it continues to slow down and stall, that's not a good scenario, because that could, of course, exacerbate any of the conditions that we are seeing here in this case. Taking a look right now at the radar, you can see there are already those tropical storm force winds coming onshore now into the southeastern part of Texas. We're seeing gusts in the 50-mile-per-hour range. Of course, there's some oscillation here as we see that, but a very well-defined eye wall structure just about 80 miles offshore here. So making its approach now into the southeastern coast of Texas. However, we're seeing some outer bands come on shore here south of Houston and in the Lake Charles area. And in these outer bands, there's a very strong low-level wind shear. So we could be seeing some very quick spin-ups of tornadoes as these outer bands come on shore. So please, in these areas, you need to make sure that you're receiving the alerts, because again, these could happen very quickly and you may not have a lot of time to act. They'd be hard to see. So we're watching for that threat as well. Taking a look at the latest forecast, here's our current. We are anticipating a landfall sometime this evening with some continued strengthening. So this forecast here is for 120 miles per hour. So we could be seeing a little uptick in intensity between now and this evening. This landfall will occur somewhere in the Corpus Christi area where Paul Goodloe is right now, and then continue to move onshore on Saturday. But it's what happens after that that is extremely concerning, because if you look at this cone, notice it's just a large, broad circle, which means that this storm will stall and hang out in this area through Sunday evening, potentially even longer than that. So looking at the latest totals here, this is a devastating amount of rainfall that's forecasted to fall. We're talking about 30 inches plus, Paul, not too far from where you're standing. So this truly is a catastrophic rainfall forecast.
Yeah, that is amazing to hear those numbers, Erica. It's almost sobering. You know, it's not just, you know, the winds and the surge you have with a typical hurricane. It's that rain, but it's not just here along the coast. And even seeing half that rain, like 15 inches, we could have that in San Antonio, another place that could have a disaster with that much rain as well. But while Harvey could be making landfall pretty close to here, we might be just on the south side of center, which perhaps might lessen the impacts slightly. But north of where you have landfall, you have that right front quadrant, the stronger part of that hurricane in places like Port Lavaca could see the brunt as well of Hurricane Harvey. That's where my colleague Mike Seidel is there right now. And Mike, we've been dealing with rain and wind for quite some time. How are the conditions up there right now in Port Lavaca?
Same kind of weather here in Port Lavaca. We're about 90 miles north of Corpus Christi, where Paul is. We are more inland. Corpus is inland, but we're well inland, about 25 to 30 miles from the barrier island. They're a little closer to the barrier island, which I refer to as North Padre, but it does have a Corpus Christi address across the bridge from the Naval Air Station. You can see the wave action. They're getting churned up, getting angrier, licking here at the top of the seawall here at the Holiday Inn Express and Suites. So far, though, no water into the front yard. We've had some heavy rainfall come through, are gusting up to about 35 miles per hour. And we've had several marine warnings indicative of the vorticity, the spin in the atmosphere, and the risk of some water spouts and even some landfall. When they make landfall, some tornadoes. We had two short fuse small area tornado warnings north of here, in Matagorda County. As far as what's ahead, it just goes downhill. This is not like a summertime thunderstorm that just hits like a wall of rain and wind. It just ramps up, and as those bands near the eye approach, the winds get stronger and stronger, and I suspect we'll have hurricane force gust here by this evening, and then through the height of the storm we could gust here as high as 100 miles an hour. And then inland too, we're going to have high winds, hurricane force winds, and those areas too will not get the surge obviously, but they'll get tremendous amounts of rainfall along with the wind, uprooted trees. So widespread power outages are expected, and because this system isn't going to wind down, it's not going to move in, move out, and the wind's not going to wind down and dissipate, what's going to happen is the power crews with the bucket trucks, they will not be able to get up to get those the power back on, the poles back up, the lines back up as soon as they would like to. So certainly have what you need, the non-perishables, ready. Let's go up the coast now to a press conference. Galveston Mayor Jane Yarborough is stepping up to the microphone to update us on that city, which is certainly very hurricane prone.
Reported that as of this morning at 11 o'clock, they had about 80 customers who had lost service in their whole geographic region, which includes most of Galveston County and certainly parts of southern and eastern Harris County. They're poised and ready to go in Jack Brooks Park, where they stage. They are ready to respond and react. They've got extra crews ready to bring lines back if we lose power to UTMB and some of the medical facilities here on the East End. Jamaica Beach has recently issued a voluntary evacuation for their residents to match up with what the city has done. And following the county conference call earlier this morning, no city in Galveston County has issued any type of mandatory evacuation. Everything is voluntary at this stage. You know, people ask, well, what do I do? Where do I go? What's the deal? We're going to have wind, but the wind is not going to be the dominant feature here. It's the water. And at some point this afternoon, you probably just ought to stay where you're at. Shelter in place, shelter in your house. Hopefully you have your supplies, your medications, the things that you're going to need to deal with an inconvenience for 3 or 4 days. For those who, under, again, our normal protocol, if we were having evacuations either mandatory or voluntary.
And again, we're back here in Corpus Christi. Great advice to basically, be ready for being without necessities for about 3 or 4 days. So now's the time to hopefully just sit down and enjoy our coverage and weather, what Harvey will bring in. Again, the weather is going downhill even in Corpus as well. Now, up the coast, they might not see a direct impact from the center of Hurricane Harvey, but they have all the other trimmings. They have the wave action. They're going to have some of the storm surge and a whole lot of rain, even up towards Houston and the Galveston area. Let's check it now with Sarah Dolph, who is in Galveston. And Sarah, you're right there on the Gulf. What does the Gulf look like? Have you been dealing with some rain throughout this afternoon?
Well, when you checked in with us last hour, Paul, it was calm. It felt almost silly to be talking about an incoming hurricane, but what a difference just a few minutes makes. This has all whipped up in about the last 10 minutes. Take a look at that ocean. Take a look at those waves. We heard a boom a second ago and turned around to see a metal sign flying across the parking lot. This is just one of the many reasons officials are urging people to evacuate or to take shelter. It's not necessarily the storm conditions, but rather the debris that those strong winds can throw around. You can see right there on the road still a fair number of cars. And up until a half hour ago, we were actually seeing some joggers and some walkers out there along the seawall. You're exactly right. We're not going to get we're not going to get a direct hit from the hurricane, but this area definitely not going to be spared as Harvey makes its march towards land. Paul.
All right, thanks, Sarah. Again, we'll see conditions go downhill there as well, but the concern there is we're going to have days and days of rain, even up towards Galveston and the Houston areas. That's also a big concern as well. Well, here in Corpus, the brunt of Harvey is beginning to make its onshore come onshore, and again, weather going downhill throughout the day and tonight as we have the landfall. And okay, we were going to go to a press conference, we're not as well, but again, the winds now also picking up as well. They've been sustained in around 20 for much of the morning. Now they're up in that 25, close to 30 mile per hour range as this hurricane continues to come this way as well. Take a look at Corpus Christi Bay here. This is kind of protected part of the bay. You can even see whitecaps here on this, and there are some breakwater walls here that were protecting a good chunk, several breakwaters to protect all the boats here in the harbor. And I know they are hoping that they can weather this storm. And just in terms of a little hurricane history for this area, 47 years ago, I think it was August 3rd, 1970, the last time they had a major hurricane hit this area. That was Hurricane Celia, and it hit in a very similar spot that Harvey is forecast to hit. Right now, if you actually take our cone, we put that on the screen for you, and draw a center line on that cone, that center line would come maybe just north of Port Aransas. And Port Aransas is basically off to my right here. It's where the ships that are perhaps picking up or dropping off cargo or petroleum here in Corpus. That's the way they get out to the Gulf of Mexico. The center line of our forecast with Harvey is just north of that Port Aransas, so that's the center point of the center. But again, this is a large hurricane, and we will definitely feel the impacts. I think the actual, as the crow flies to Port Aransas, is about 20 miles from where I'm standing. So it is definitely going to be feeling the brunt of this. I'm not quite sure how wide the eye is, but we are going to be in the eye wall or pretty near the eye wall of Harvey as we head on towards tonight. And looking at the timing of this, we're still talking about probably between the hours of, say, 8 p.m. and maybe even 1 a.m. That is when the brunt of the worst weather, some of the heaviest rain, some of the strongest winds, some of the highest surge will be. And then a slow recession of all that, because Harvey is a slow-moving hurricane as well. So this is not going to be like Celia was 47 years ago. Celia strengthened right before landfall, so didn't have as great of a surge as Harvey is still generating at this time. Celia came in and kept going and then dissipated as it moved into West Texas. Harvey, a completely different animal. Harvey is slow moving. Harvey is going to have a stronger surge, a higher surge that is generating right now. It's a Category 3, and the forecast is for it to strengthen to a Category 2 right now, but the forecast is strengthened to a Category 3 as it makes or just before landfall. So we're going to have a lot more increasing impacts as it slowly makes its approach to land throughout the rest of this afternoon and tonight as well. So. And then after that, as we're feeling the increase of the winds right now, we're going to see a lot of the impacts push inland very slowly. So once you're in the rain, like San Antonio, you're seeing some rain bands right now. Once you get in the rain later on today, the rain might not stop for you for a couple of days. And unfortunately, that is no exaggeration. Some of the forecasts for rainfall, even here in Corpus, generally maybe 10 to 15 inches, but some of the models are forecasting maybe 25 inches of rain. Think about that, 25 inches of rain in a couple of days. And even areas seeing half that, that's a foot of rain. That's a lot of rain. So it's not just going to be a coastal concern with the immediate impact and the lingering impact of Harvey. It's going to be the rain and the flooding we'll see for days and days and days. Hence the reason why we're so concerned here at the Weather Channel and trying to get everyone aware of what's going on. This is not just a point, and this is not just a coastal concern. This is a multi-state concern, talking about Texas, talking about Louisiana, and that's as far as we're going to go in the forecast now, but it could be other Gulf states as well. It could be impacted by the multifacets that we have now with Harvey. Again, we have crews spread out across Texas and across...
Hey tú, musicólogo, seriólogo, y tú, chateólogo. Seguro tu plan viene con Facebook y WhatsApp gratis. Claro Música, canciones ilimitadas sin gastar megas. Y Claro Video, miles de series y películas en tu plan post-pago. Y con Claro, tienes la única red 4G LTE Advanced.
Alemanes. Ese es el producto de no preguntar. Ese es el producto de no dialogar. Ese es el producto de no identificarse, por lo menos con respeto y tolerancia hacia la opinión de los demás. Hay gente que odia la diversidad. Este pensamiento psicopático que merece realmente tratamiento, a no ser que sea un comportamiento, como decía mi profesor de literatura, el cual tenía el apodo de Chaucheras, es porque tenía una boca grande y medio caída. Y recuerdo que cuando nos enseñaba los poemas de ese extraordinario curita, el arcipreste de Ita, y que evocaba o preveía como el camino de la felicidad, el buscar convertirse en un eremita, en un ermitaño y alejarse completamente del mundo. Recuerdo que inclusive una parte del poema decía: alejarse del mundo e ir por donde han ido los pocos sabios que en el mundo han sido, así decía. Los pocos sabios que en el mundo han sido. Sí, a lo mejor un ermitaño, a lo mejor un ermita puede tener esa predisposición a buscar alejarse del mundo, alejarse de hombres y de mujeres también, entiendo yo. Y así ocurre. Hay quien odia la diversidad. Nosotros amamos la diversidad. Amamos la diversidad. Amamos que pienses diferente. Amo que pienses diferente en la cultura, en la política, en la economía, en tu forma de concebir la sociedad. Amo que pienses diferente. Lastimosamente, el odio a la diversidad hace que nos volvamos totalmente excluyentes. Yo, solo yo, tengo la razón. Tú no la tienes. Yo tengo la razón. No, señores. Hay que aprender a amar la diversidad. ¿Cómo podríamos los ecuatorianos no amar la diversidad? Hace un momento escuchamos una canción linda en la cual se hace una evocación a lo que somos en el Ecuador. Somos diversos en paisaje, somos diversos en clima, somos diversos en producción, somos diversos en fauna, somos diversos en flora, somos diversos en música, en folclore. Precioso recorrer toda la sierra ecuatoriana, algún momento lo hice a caballo. Y en contraste con que existen diferentes tipos de ponchos, vestimentas, alpargatas. A propósito, mi abuelo decía que les decía a los políticos, porque claro, mamá se había casado con un político, papá fue senador y diputado algunas veces, y mi abuelo, claro, no le gustaba mucho la política y les decía que los políticos son como las alpargatas. Y cuando le preguntaban por qué, decía: porque da lo mismo la derecha que la izquierda. Qué diversidad maravillosa. Sombreros, ponchos, vestimenta preciosa, caras, razas, etnias distintas. Qué pluriculturalidad, qué maravillosa diversidad tenemos en el Ecuador. Y claro, tenemos también diversidades en nuestras capacidades. Es por eso que durante mi vicepresidencia pensé que el objetivo principal era aceptar ese tipo de diversidad y entender que debemos preocuparnos de todas las diversidades para intentar crear un mundo más justo. Entonces así amamos la diversidad, amar, identificarse con la diversidad. Qué precioso que tú no pienses igual que yo. Por eso, cuando llegué, lo primero que manifesté es que tengo y vengo con la mano extendida. Algunos no confiaron. Algunos decían: seguro que va a ser lo mismo. Seguimos con nuestro criterio socialista. Y lo estamos manifestando en este momento. Aplaudan todos, por favor, respeten la diversidad. Sí, es por eso que hemos pensado en un programa al que hemos denominado Toda una vida, para que un gobierno y un país responsable, que lo son todos ustedes también, se preocupe del ser humano desde el mismo momento de la concepción hasta que Dios decida cerrarle los ojos. Cuando se me ocurrió el programa Casa para Todos, recuerdo viniendo de Monte Sinaí, decía, ¿cómo le ganamos a Lazo las elecciones? Entonces yo decía, ¿qué puede querer? ¿Qué es lo que más quiere? La persona que manda en el hogar, la mujer. ¿Qué es lo que más quiere? Un patrimonio. Porque lo primero que pregunta al esposo, al novio o a los dos, y la mujer, a diferencia del hombre, siempre espera al hombre de sus sueños. Mientras tanto se casa. Y decía, ¿qué puede querer? Más que nada una mujer. Lo primero que pregunta una mujer, yo recuerdo a mi mujer, decía, Lenín, ¿cuándo compramos un departamento? No importa que sea pequeñito. ¿Por qué? Porque una mujer siente que se consolida su futuro, que la unidad de la más hermosa célula que tiene la sociedad, que es la familia, se consolida y se vuelve un tanto permanente. Entonces a mí se me ocurrió, ¿por qué no le damos casa a todos? Y decía inclusive que si es que un conejo tiene una madriguera, que si es que un lobo tiene una guarida, si un pez tiene un hueco, una cueva, una roca donde esconderse, ¿cómo puede ser posible que un ser humano no tenga una casa? La verdad es que me echaron mucha contra, me decían que no sé qué, que era paternalismo. Inclusive yo recuerdo que el periodista Andrés Carrión saltó el momento que se me ocurrió, saltó de la silla y dijo, paternalismo, así, paternalismo, me dijo mi querido amigo Andrés. Y yo dije, ¿por qué? Entonces me dice, porque no les puedes dar a la gente algo sin dar nada. Pero no es suficiente con que nos dé su felicidad. No es suficiente. Y un empresario amigo, muy querido también, me dijo, mira Lenín, yo creo que no hay que dar más beneficios a la gente. Y yo dije, ¿por qué? Si el favor se lo estamos haciendo a los empresarios. Pero me dijo, ¿pero cómo? ¿Favor a los empresarios? Dándole casa a la gente, ¿qué favor nos hacen a nosotros? Porque vas a tener en adelante un trabajador que va a asistir a su trabajo, a producir mejor, más alegre, más contento. No te va a putear todos los días. No te va a odiar. Va a sentir que tiene un patrimonio y no se le va a ocurrir algún día reclamar aquello que él cree que le has quitado. No es verdad. Yo sé que no es verdad, pero hay alguien que le va a hacer creer que se lo has quitado, pues. Y con un pequeño patrimonio no va a sentir la tentación de tomar un arma y salir a reclamarte lo que alguien, con el pretexto de una gesta social, le hace creer que es suyo. ¿Por qué creen que en el Ecuador no desarrollaron células revolucionarias como lo pasó en Colombia y como pasó en Perú? Por algo tan elemental, porque acá con una reforma agraria mal hecha, la verdad, se entregó pedazos de tierra a los indígenas y los indígenas sentían que tenían ya un patrimonio. Démosles un patrimonio a la gente. Hagámosles sentir que estamos preocupados por ellos. Hagámosles sentir que no somos egoístas. Hagámosles sentir que además de educación y salud, que debe dar un Estado responsable de forma gratuita, ¿por qué no darle una casa? No es mucho el esfuerzo, pero sí, sin duda alguna, muchísimo el beneficio social y la felicidad. Hay una canción que siempre la tocan cuando yo entro, que se llama Hoy puede ser un gran día. Yo debo pensar en que para ti puede ser un gran día hoy también. Es por eso que mediante el diálogo, mediante las mesas de concertación, mediante estas mesas de diálogo que hemos generado, han surgido estos programas que de una forma bastante explicativa, bastante explícita, bastante didáctica, lo han manifestado tanto Santiago cuanto Efraín. Qué bueno que así sea. Qué bueno que así sea, porque un país productivo es un país que trae bienestar, que genera riqueza. Nosotros, queridos amigos empresarios, no tenemos absolutamente nada contra ustedes, todo lo contrario. Gracias por el esfuerzo que todos los días hacen en beneficio del desarrollo del Ecuador. Vamos a seguir avanzando con ustedes. No podemos hacerlo solos. No podemos hacerlo solos. No podemos hacerlo solos. Solamente con el apoyo, solamente con la conjunción, con una simbiosis productiva entre empresario y trabajador, podemos salir adelante. Por supuesto que hay otras tareas. Qué pena que me ha tocado librarle mi tiempo. Alguien me dice, ¿está luchando contra la corrupción? No, no. Yo no estoy luchando contra la corrupción. Estoy dejando que las instituciones funcionen de manera libre, nada más. Y si cada función cumple con su trabajo y son los ciudadanos los responsables de que así sea, ese momento va a haber lucha contra la corrupción. Ese momento sí hay lucha contra la corrupción. De repente ahí por Twitter mando uno que otro mensaje disimulado, que no sé qué, que... que para qué será que hacen caja, o como decía la Biblia, como dice la Biblia, no decía. Quien tenga inteligencia, dice la Biblia, quien tenga entendimiento, adivine el número de la bestia. Adivina el número de la bestia. Yo he calculado ahí, medio tratando con la mecánica cuántica de sacar del encriptamiento, y no sé, el 66 me da 2021, no sé por qué. Sumando, restando, poniendo, quítale el número que pensaste y... No sé por qué me da. Hagan ustedes cada uno. Creo que es un llamado. Y eso está planteado como una profecía. Y las profecías, lejos de lo que cualquiera puede pensar, no es para que se cumplan. No, no, no. Las profecías son para que no se cumplan. La gente dice, no, es una profecía, sí, se va a cumplir el Apocalipsis. No, no, no. Las profecías están diseñadas para que no se cumpla. Pero como somos tan idiotas, es como que dentro en el tánatos del ser humano, que lucha contra el eros, de acuerdo a Sigmund Freud, y a la mitología griega también, porque esa también será un enfrentamiento, es como que el Tánatos trataría de superar al Eros, como que adentro de nuestro ser también tendríamos un poco de deseo de inmolarnos. Vamos a evitar inmolarnos. No podemos inmolarnos. Por ello es importante que tengamos entendimiento, que tengamos inteligencia y que sepamos descifrar los signos de los tiempos. Estoy hablando como... Mejor acabo porque estoy hablando como cura. Tenía un discurso aquí en estas pendejadas que se llaman teleprompter, pero no, creo que es suficiente. Creo que Efraín, creo que Santiago han dicho suficiente. Esa es la ventaja de hablar al último, que ya le están diciendo todo. Les agradezco mucho, les doy un abrazo y mucha producción. Muchísimas gracias.
Señor presidente, muchísimas gracias por estas palabras que nos dejan, creo que a todos, llenos de optimismo, de esperanza, de creer en nuestro Ecuador, en nuestro país, de salir adelante. Así es que muchísimas gracias por estas palabras. Como usted siempre dice, ¿no? Con el diálogo construimos un mejor país, más equitativo, que se preocupa por los que menos tienen también, consecuente. Así es que gracias y vamos a agradecerles a todos ustedes a nombre de la CFN, al presidente constitucional de la República, a las autoridades, empresarios y medios de comunicación por estar aquí esta mañana, por ser testigos de la nueva propuesta de la Corporación Financiera Nacional, que busca aumentar la productividad y las exportaciones, confiando siempre en la innovación y el emprendimiento de los ecuatorianos. Así es que para celebrar y para festejar las buenas noticias, hemos preparado un cóctel para todos ustedes en el Salón Salinas, en el salón posterior. Muchas gracias por estar con nosotros y que tengan una excelente tarde.
¡Hey tú, musicólogo, seriólogo! ¡Y tú, chateólogo! Seguro tu plan viene con Facebook y WhatsApp gratis. Claro Música, canciones ilimitadas sin gastar megas. Y Claro Video, miles de series y películas en tu plan postpago. Y con Claro tienes la única red 4G LTE Advanced.
Sigue tu corazón y entrega el alma a tus sueños. Tu instinto te guía. Déjalo todo atrás y entrégate. Que tu miedo te tenga miedo. Rompe lo establecido. Solo entonces sabrás de qué estás hecho. Sigue tu corazón, porque el mundo necesita gente que ame lo que hace. UDLA.
¿Cómo se hizo los peronistas? ¿Por qué?
Para su gobierno tiene mensajes que hay que transmitir.
Bienvenida a Hashtag. ¿Qué tal? Gracias, encantada de estar aquí.
En el momento más alto de la curva de rendimiento del proyecto.
Porque el mejor de los vinos va a venir.
No vamos a creer que realmente esto es una lucha contra la corrupción, porque yo lo que quisiera ver es una acción sistémica, completa, hacia todo lo que ha sido corrupción, no necesariamente a quienes están de parte de Rafael Correa y entonces los otros que se quedan calladitos, muy prudentes, pasan por debajo del humo, ¿verdad?
Cuando el bloque Alianza País
saca un comunicado tan ambiguo, ¿no? donde le ratifica la lealtad al presidente de la República y rechaza las acusaciones contra el vicepresidente Glass y contra,
cuando los dos se están acusando mutuamente.
Claro, entonces es un mensaje confuso hacia la ciudadanía, es un mensaje en el cual no se toman posturas.
Yo veo unos cambios muy dirigidos a dar una imagen ya de diálogo, pero en la práctica hay muchas cosas que están rezagadas. Está bien, hay que tener paciencia, pero cuidado, nos estamos quedando con eso, celebrando con bombos y platillos ya estos inicios, y no vaya más allá en el momento que capture todo el poder.
Yo no creo que hay que menospreciar al 100% lo que el presidente ha hecho, que me parece que, y que lo que yo resalto también es la dureza de sus palabras, porque él tranquilamente podría decir, por ejemplo, señor Glass, todos los dedos apuntan a usted ahora, pero él después dice, y la lealtad con la mafia, la lealtad es con el pueblo, no con la mafia. ¿Para qué, por ejemplo? Eso es una acusación gratuita a Rafael Correa.
Es triste nuevamente empezar a pensar el país desde esa lógica, y que si el presidente de la República actual es quien lo está diciendo, claramente deben existir evidencias que se están tratando de tapar ciertos actos a causa de esta famosa lealtad. Y otra cosa muy importante, más allá de que si esto va a tomar tiempo o no tomar tiempo, el presidente de la República el día viernes ha sido muy claro en decir que todos los dedos empiezan a señalar con más pruebas que nunca al señor Jorge Glass.
Larepublica.es, un paso adelante en información. Entérese de lo último de noticias nacionales e internacionales, además de los deportes y todo sobre nuestros programas en línea. www.larepublica.es. No importa dónde se encuentre, estamos a un solo clic de distancia. Síganos también en nuestras redes sociales, Twitter, Facebook e Instagram. Larepublica.es, la mejor opción para estar informado en línea.